Our final fellow is Eric Showalter from the Washburn Institute of Technology. Eric received a certificate in collision repair in 1976 when Washburn Tech was Kaw Area Vocational-Technical School. Eric immediately demanded high standards of himself in the field. He said this: "The week after graduation, I went to work in a local body shop, which I realized early on was a C-class shop at best. As time went by, I had the opportunity to work in 2 other shops with better equipment and improved working conditions before I opened my own shop. I spent many hours seeking new technology and still do now." Eric has earned recognition as a top professional in the industry. His former shop, Mirror Image, was a gold-class repair shop from 1991 to 2003. He now teaches collision repair at Washburn Tech and was the I-CAR South Central Instructor of the Year in 2012. Clayton Tatro, Associate Dean at Washburn Tech, said, "Congratulations on a well-deserved honor. Thank you for all you do for Washburn Tech and for our students." Eric helped Washburn Tech start the Recycled Rides program in 2011. He mentors students who repair vehicles, and then they gift them to community members in need. The program has presented 13 cars to local programs since its inception. Eric has spoken proudly of the program. He says, "Recycled Rides has become a very positive direction for us in promoting our school, not only to the general public, but to businesses that hire our students. It has opened up new lines of communication, which has led to increased opportunities for our graduating students." His sister and brother-in-law, Jeannie and Doug Wells, said, "As a child, you always got into trouble for tearing toys apart, just to see how they work. It's apparent you have found your calling and are doing exactly what you were meant to do. Recycled Rides has become a highly recognized institution and model for other technical colleges around the country wanting to implement this program. Many of your former students come back every chance they get to help, a testament to the value of the program and to you as their mentor." His nephew, Sean LaRue, said, "I have watched you give of your time and love to others my whole life, never asking for anything in return. You fixed up my first truck and gave it a custom paint job, and you repaired it and I wrecked it. Even today, you invested the lives of my children by playing with them and providing words of wisdom that shape their future." We are pleased to honor Eric Showalter as a Washburn Alumni Fellow.
Good afternoon. I am honored and humbled to be before you. I did not graduate from Washburn University. I am the middle child of 5 children. All of my siblings do have college education. I was the one that was the problem child, as my sister referred to. Came to Topeka in 1961. I was a brat in a car. We moved up here from Hayesville. Dad was driving a truck. Mom was driving about a 1958 or 9 Volvo. No air conditioning. We're on a turnpike. Grass median at the time. I was the brat in the back seat with nothing to do, no car seats, and, so they gave me the house keys to play with. We're driving down a turnpike, and I threw them out the window. So they stopped, and they spent hours searching the grass trying to find the keys to the house we were moving into that afternoon, which to no avail. So when we got to Topeka, my father's first task was to break into the house we were now occupying. We had no keys. So fast forward, as I went through my junior high and into high school, I didn't learn well. I struggled with my homework. I couldn't connect the dots. So it wasn't until probably my sophomore year, but it was in typing class, on the 3rd day of keyboarding and typing class, that they said, "This is not for you. Your mind and your fingers do not see the same thing at the same time." So they figured out that I struggled with a learning disorder. Before, it was that I was the lazy kid and didn't want to do my homework, and it was very frustrating because I didn't understand that. So they finally said, "We need to take another direction. collegiate is not going to be your future. We need to figure out something else. Okay. So I thought, well, maybe I'll go to the service, you know. Maybe drop out of high school, I'll go to the service. Maybe I'll finish high school, but let's look at going to the service. So I went to the recruiter's office one afternoon after school, unbeknownst to my folks, sat down and we started through the application process. Got to the point that the recruiter asked me, are you missing any, do you have any medical conditions? No. Are you missing any bones? Oh, yes, I am missing a bone. Big red X. You're a medical reject. The military can't take somebody that's missing a bone. Well, that went because in 1970 I got my foot underneath the lawnmower and trimmed my toenail back to the first joint. So military wasn't going to work, collegiate wasn't going to work. Now what am I going to do? One of my high school recruiters and counselors said, well, you know, we have this vocational school, and you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to apply yourself. But if you like working with your hands, you'll probably be okay. And we'll get you through high school, and your elective credits will be over there instead of sports. And that's good. I do like to work with my hands. I've been working summer jobs and that anyway. So I got enrolled in, at the time, Kaw Area Vocational-Technical School, and had very talented instructors, and encouraged me, and I made it through my first year okay. It was good. Got into my second year. In that summer, my family relocated to Iowa, and I was very stubborn and did not relocate. I was going to stay here. Created a little difficulty, but it worked out. My older sister kind of took me in, and I stayed here, and started in my senior year, and my instructors helped me get a part-time job that would give me the money to sustain my livelihood and stay here and complete. So Valentine's Day of that year, again, a brat with a car. And I was running around playing, you know, and see this girl that I kind of want to talk to. So we chased her down and started a conversation. 38 years later, she's still my wife. True story. You know, so we have always been involved with automobiles since then. Went on to own companies. It was good. As life sometimes does, it throws twists at you, and you hit bumps in the road, and you have to adjust to that. And so our business didn't survive the post 9/11 economic fallout because of our business model, and it got to the point that I couldn't see a clear path for it to continue. I had support, but just wasn't going to work out. I spent too much time worrying about instead of enjoying what we were doing. So we left that, didn't know where we were going. If you look and search, as one door closes or gets slammed on you, however that happens, another one opens when the time's right. So I dispersed of all my equipment, went to work for the county, hired in as the assistant supervisor. That's okay. I had benefits, I had a job, had no challenge to it at all. It was a very boring 11 months that I spent working for Public Works Department. And in 2004, in the summer, at that time, CATS called me and they needed an instructor. And now I don't want to do that. I'm done with school. I kept myself going through business, but I'm done. Several times I said no, and finally I said maybe. And maybe led to now an instructor of 12 years. So I have had the opportunity to inspire several young people. We have a great staff and a great support system. We have a great bunch of instructors that have a solid core value on how to motivate and instill not only our high school students, but our post-secondaries, our returning veterans, our displaced workers that come back to retrain. So through that, with, again, faculty support, Dr. Farley, Dr. Pembroke, and Coco, the associate deans, Dr. Gableman and Dr. Tedrow, they give us the freedom on the tech campus to think of things differently. And they challenge us to set ourselves aside and apart from all of the other schools in Kansas that do exactly what we do. What makes your program and what makes Washburn Tech different than the other 12 schools that do what you do at a different location. So through that, we thought about how we're going to move, and we'd already started the Recycle Rides program under a previous administration, and it started to have some success. Actually had Dean Coco there before he was officially our dean, and spoke at one of our events, and we've had a great relationship since then. We've expanded the program. We have not only been successful with Recycle Rides, with this last one we had just 3 weeks ago, we added another component to that from the National Auto Body Council's second program called the FREE program, First Responder Emergency Extrication Training for our first responders that show up when somebody's had a bad day. You know, when they're on the road and they're in their car and they need to get out. Our cars have changed a lot in the last 10 years. Our safety standards are much higher than they've ever been, which means that their challenges are much more intense to get us out of the car in a timely fashion and get us to the medical help that we need. So for the first time, we were able to host that. It is a free event, and there is no charge to the first responders. There's no charge for us to host it other than a lunch and providing some training space for them. 28 firefighters got their skills updated on that day. So it was a great program for us. Looking forward to that going forward and doing that again. And looking forward to what the future brings for us, because our students are the next leaders that are going to sit in this room amongst you. And I'm so honored to be amongst the fellows that have been inducted today, the ones that have come before us, and the ones that will follow us. Thank you.